Samurai.
Welcome to the home of Williams' Old Yeller Dogs. I am the Shogun, Andre Williams. Like, follow, and subscribe.
Over the past almost 13 years, I myself have produced one, two, three, 4 litters. 4 litters in the past almost 13 years. So I was very particular. It's almost like it's an art. It's all the math behind it on the genetics and the percentages, like what you're mixing together. It's just making sure you do it right the first time. You don't want to just experiment. You want to, actually know what you're doing first and then apply that to what you want to do.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hey, and so kind of going back to what, like you said, another dog that I see crossed into the pits to make good catch dogs are plot hounds in the Carolinas. Do you have any plot hounds in your pack or anything like that, or would you use a plot hound?
No, we don't use any plots or anything like that. And in my line of dogs, my crossbred dogs, the only breeds that I have from the beginning is so Tank is my foundation male. I mentioned that earlier. He is it was 13 years ago, so it was a very long time ago, and I used to have all the information written down, but I lost it. I moved so many times and over the years and stuff. But his mom, his dam, was either, I believe she was her dad was UKC registered, so he was a American Bulldog or Amstaff, and
Okay.
her mother was Old Family Red Nose, Hemphill bloodlines. She was real pretty, and their names were Block and Kitty, and that's where his mom came off of. And then his dad was kind of scattered-bred. He was like Carver, Colby, Jeep, Mayday stuff.
Okay.
And so and he turned out to be the largest out of his litter. He was the only one that was white, like almost solid white with chocolate spots. He was super huge compared to all his siblings. He just really looked different. So I picked him out at like 2-3 weeks old. He was the most different from the whole litter, and that's the one I chose. And at the time, I had an American Pit Bull Terrier, my first American Pit Bull Terrier, Marshall, which actually made me fall in love with the breed. But unfortunately, there wasn't enough information out there on the true pit bull for me to know what I was dealing with as a teenager. So unfortunately, I had lost him to an unfortunate accident due to his animal aggression that I wasn't prepared to deal with, because I was told by rescues and stuff like that oh, it's all in how they're raised, and well, you need to get him neutered. Got him neutered, never fixed his genetic aggression, obviously, which I did not know at the time was the issue. But he was very picky about other dogs, and when I was picking out from the litter, there was 3 dogs that I liked, and I brought each of them out individually to him, and Tank is the only one that he paid attention to. So that's why I picked him. But going back to what he's crossed with, that's what my foundation male is. And then I crossed him to a Staffordshire Bull Terrier. She was a blood tracking dog for deer and other wild game. And she also would catch hogs. So I liked that about her. She had that workability. She was adding more stoutiness, because she was, how, more bulk to him. He's more tall and limber. So I bred them together, and that's how I got Malibu. And then I crossed Malibu. She was my pick of the litter, my keeper. And I crossed her to her first litter. I crossed with he looked like an alpha blue blood bulldog, but he was American Bully. His mom was a Merle American Bully, and his father was an American Staffordshire Terrier. Both UKC registered. and I bred them, and I got Voodoo out of that. And then her second litter, I bred her to Jameson, and he is a pocket American Bully crossed with an American Staffordshire Terrier. So that's pretty much the breeds. A little bit of a breakdown of the breeds that are used. And then my fourth litter I've had, which was recent, was with Voodoo. She just had her litter, and Beetlejuice was my keeper out of that litter.
Okay.
So I bred him with Slim. I bred her with Slim. So Slim is the father of Beetlejuice, and he's Pat. So he's the one that we talked about that had recently passed.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So that's where I added the American Pit Bull Terrier. So again.
So how do you let's say you get a dog and it gets injured, right? Because we talked about the hunt all the way up to dispatching the hog. What about aftercare for you and the dogs? Because I know them briars tear you up as well when you go out there. So how do you take care of you and the dogs?
Yeah, so well, with the briars and stuff like that, our dogs are pretty tenacious and pretty resilient. So, you know, it doesn't really face them. But if they ever do get caught up, we've had a few times where one of our dogs got cut by barbed wire, and all we do, yeah, or a pig or anything like that, if they get cuts, we thoroughly wash the area, you know, hydro cleansing. Pretty much just cool water and rinse it out, clean it out, saline solution, and then Manuka honey, and we do betadine too. So we have a whole med pack that we keep on hand. And Junior knows how to stitch, so if we need to stitch dog up, then we can do that. So there's quite a lot that goes into it. I mean, gauze, you got blood stop. We keep the Manuka honey because it's super, super potent with like a natural antibiotic can be used as that, but it's also good for dogs that are in the heat, keep their blood sugar levels up, and if they get injured, it helps to bring them out of shock, you know. So
absolutely,
yeah, that's kind of stuff.
And that Manuka honey, you can buy it at Walmart.
Yeah, you can buy it at Walmart. It's expensive.
It's expensive, but it's worked on the dogs. It's worked on Faith multiple times. Like, it's actually really good, and we actually seen it from a video from Australia.
Yeah, so I saw a YouTube video of an Australian man. He's hunting his dogs, and his dog got cut up pretty bad, and he had to staple him up, but he packed that Manuka honey in there first, and he said, "This is the best stuff you'll use, I promise." So we got that idea from him.
Yes, there's an Aussie guy that I follow. He's old school. He takes the lever action 30-30 and his dog's out. It might be the same guy. He'll jump out of his boat and go up on the bank and chase the hog down.
Yeah.
But all right, so we got the dogs taken care of. We got us taken care of. What about getting the hogs and the dogs out of the woods? Like using ATVs, you got a side by side. Like how do you get out of there?
Well, okay, that one I will get her for. I normally carry the pig out. I'll put the pig on my shoulders, and we'll normally carry the pig out. While she takes care of the dogs, getting the dogs out, and so the kids, I will normally, depending on how big it is, I'll field dress it. And then I'll just throw it up on my shoulders, and we'll normally track 2 or 3 miles.
And carry it back.
Carry it out, and get home, quarter it up, you know.
We cook it and eat it, and we've also fed other people with it. So,
like ATVs are good if you got them or you can get them. Four-wheelers, same thing, but whenever we're out hunting and stuff, it's too loud because you can move around a whole lot quieter than you can with an ATV or a four-wheeler.
Yeah.
Or something like that, because you're moving around and you're walking, you're sounding more like other pigs walking through or a bunch of deer
or
coming
some wild
through.
game just passing through. So, I mean,
so it's easier to sneak up on them, especially if the pigs have been ran by dogs before.
Mm-hmm.
The quieter you are, the better chance you will get on a pig.
Yeah. So, we respect, we'll say, I'll go out and say this at the beginning. We respect all hunting styles. We love all hunting dogs. We don't think that our way is any better than anyone else's, but it's definitely what works best. Works for us. Yeah, exactly. So we prefer just to, like I said in the end a while back in the video, put as much work as your dogs do into what you're doing. I mean, it really helps the dogs a lot, in my opinion, and my experience, that you on foot with them and you're working with them, they're like, you're right here with us. They fan out. That gives them that confidence they need to do their job when you're working with them. So we just do everything on foot.
And it builds a bond.
Yeah, and the
bond with out there in the woods is a whole lot different from the bond at the house.
Yep.
In the woods, they rely on you to help you. They take care of them.
Yeah,
while they got your back than anything else. Like, the bond is stronger in the woods for hunting than it will ever be.
Yeah, so I guess it kind of brings out our primal side as well. It's just being out there with them is, like I said, a beautiful thing. It really is. And we love doing it, and we do it for them, and we get just as much out of it as they do. So.
Hey, so I love the fact that you said y'all field dress it and quarter it out. And the other question I was going to ask you, is there a certain size that you won't eat the meat off of? Because I've heard some of the older boar hogs, the meat can be real not good.
Yeah.
Well, we've had over 500-pound boars to 75-pound boars to anywhere from them from that size range to even the sows. Honestly, our best meat that we got from any pig was our two biggest pigs we've gotten, and they were over 400 to 500 pounds. And
yeah, our first one was over 400 pounds, even after we field dressed it.
And we field dressed it. We got it home.
We had 2 weeks. There's no way we could carry it out.
Cut it up, and I was cooking it that night while cutting up the other meat.
And the people in the neighborhood, they saw the pig. Yeah, they saw the pig, and they couldn't believe how big he was. And they were, people took some pictures. We took some pictures. And, they were like, hey, y'all are going to eat that meat. And, that was right before that big freeze hit. And it fed a lot of people. It really did. And it got a lot of people through not being able to get around to town, because we've always lived out in the country. So in our community, we fed quite a bit of people during that freeze.
And there is times that the boar meat is better than the sow.
Yeah.
Because especially if the sow had piglets, and you don't know, because the dogs ain't gonna choose
the smallest ones.
What pig is the healthiest looking one, what pig doesn't have piglets. The dog is gonna choose whatever the dog can catch.
Yeah, they're gonna pick whatever the one they want to grab.
We caught in sows that there was no fat, no meat on them, to sows that were pregnant that had all that, and the meat is it's a lot more tougher in some situations, not all of them, but some. In our experience, we've always liked the boar better.
Yeah.
Than the sows.
We prefer the boar, and the bigger ones are great. But we're those ones that we got, and they were really good too, like super good and real tender. They didn't take as long to tender out. The ones that we got back at the other property,
the ones we got here.
The ones that are hanging up in the tree.
Yeah, the ones that we got here.
We hang the skulls. We decorate our whole yard.
The ones that we got here in East Texas, they was a whole lot tougher. Because I think that the heat, the humidity, the land itself, what they're eating.
Yeah, but they were really good.
Everything plays a part.
They're about, how much did they weigh?
About 175 pounds, 200 pounds.
Yeah, they were around the 175, 200 pound range. I think that's a really good, anything over, 100 pounds is probably the best. I would
Anywhere
say.
from 100 to 150 is honestly the size that you would want to get,
Preferably.
but any size, honestly, will work. Just
as long as you know what you're doing when you're cooking it, seasoning and cooking, that plays a huge part in whether or not it's gonna taste good. So,
absolutely. All right, so we got all that, and I really, man. So, do y'all ever catch a boar hog that's kind of young and just go ahead and castrate them and come back out and hunt them later? Or y'all just take them as is?
Well, we don't do that. And personally, we don't do that because I never seen the point of it. Because when we take the dogs out and the dogs do get on the pig, that's their reward. After we dispatch them, we take them home, we cut it up,
and we feed the dogs.
We will feed the dogs a lot of the scrap, all the organs like the heart, liver, anything good for them, we give the dogs. And they are never not happy when we do that. Like if we was to release them, they would go back and catch that same pig. Because that pig's already tired, pig's already wore down, the pig ain't gonna go that far to rest up. So in our point of view, it's a waste of time and
plus we utilize everything that we kill.
Unless we actually have a place that we can take the pigs to, castrate them, drop them off, and we can come back out there and they'll still be there. If we had a place like that, we would do it. But right now, it's just
they're pests. I mean, it's pest control. Yeah. They're a nuisance. They destroy millions of dollars in crops, and I mean, and
waterways. They contaminate water.
Exactly. I mean, to us, it's that's what it's supposed to be. No offense to anyone who does do that. That's just not what we do. We make sure that we dispatch the hog on the spot once the dog's got it caught, and we get our little video, or we drag them out. So we drag them out live, and that's mostly to train dogs on.
And then after we get done training the dogs,
we dispatch the hog and eat it as well.
So do that.
So that's what we do with them.
Because it's harder. It's harder on newcomers coming in, especially if they are getting into running their dogs, because it gives the pig dog experience. It makes them dog smart.
Yeah.
Then the pigs will know, like, hey, I hear these dogs, I smell them.
I'm gonna fight them.
I'm either gonna fight them, or I'm gonna just run a little bit, and then I'm gonna take them out one at a time.
Yeah. So the hogs are, they're not dumb animals. They're smart,
and they're also stupid, but they are really smart. And you honestly cannot take a pig for granted, because it doesn't matter if it's a 50-pound pig to the state record pig. A pig's a pig, and it's gonna know.
Yeah, it's gonna know. It's gonna learn. So, we just make sure that we take care of them. I think also the new people coming in, they learn a lot from some of the other newer people who do cut and turn loose. That's very dangerous too. I mean, you can get yourself hurt doing that. I see it on TikTok and YouTube all the time. People are cutting them and turning them loose, and those boars ain't gonna hesitate to come after you. I mean, so.
And the boars, honestly, the one that you really want to fix is the sows, because a boar is a boar.
But not all of us are veterinarians.
But so. he's just a male. He's out just trying to do his thing and repopulate.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
But, that's the way we do it. We just take care of them one way or another, whether it be on the spot or if we have a use for them, and we can just, train the dogs and then, dispatch them later on after.
And don't ever drag a pig out when it's raining.
Yeah, it gets slippery. You might make a mistake.
Thank you for that. Hey, so as far as we've kind of gone through the whole process of getting a dog and running it through there. So at this point now, is there anything else y'all want to put in there? Because I got one other question for y'all. But other than that, I'll give y'all time to just freestyle.
Sure.
So
No,
the
I think
last question is
we
going to be
got enough.
the voodoo, the name the voodoo hog doggers. Where'd you get other than so you said it came from the dog voodoo? Where did voodoo's name come from?
Well, I've always loved Louisiana culture. So, it goes back to that, and I knew a lot of voodoo people, great people. I love the culture behind it. So, voodoo was just a name that I thought would fit her perfectly, especially, she's got one blue eye, one brown eye. She's got sable merle coloring, very unique and and beautiful. So I was like, you know what, Voodoo's gonna be her name. It fits. She's definitely different, and so that's where I got the name from.
But the name, the Voodoo Hog Doggers, it actually came from me.
Yeah, he put two and two together.
We was going hog hunting, and we was trying to figure out names that we could use for the hog dog deal. And I was like, you know what? Let's call it Voodoo Hog Doggers. And it just stuck. And that was where it all the name came from on the Voodoo Hog Dogger side.
Yeah.
Was from her, because she will push herself to the absolute breaking point and will still keep going.
Yeah.
And not give up.
When it comes to the pigs, yeah, she'll hunt her little hippo butt off because she's a thick girl. That's my Voodoo. But since I didn't have a successor after Tank, because we were planning on retiring him soon, because he's 12 years old. So she was the firstborn that I kept off of his offspring. After Malibu passed, she pretty much became the Voodoo Queen. So she was pretty much the successor of the line, and it just made sense that since we started this up again, and she was one of our main catch dogs, that's the name that we would stick with for our hog dogs, our hog dog business.
Absolutely. So I thought it was just interesting, man. Like this. Thank you both for sharing, because like I don't really have a lot of mentors as far as the hog dogging side of it. I grew up in the Carolinas around like just like the game and like a bunch of boxmen, and so these different perspectives are needed, because a lot of people swear up and down they want to do it, and I'm not gonna lie to you, like that having that perspective before I go in there, I need to get my I need to get my ducks in a row, because it ain't easy, and it's I love the lifestyle. I love that y'all are taking care of the land. I'm just impressed. I'm genuinely impressed.
We appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. We really do.
Y'all got any family members, anything y'all want to give a shout out? Because like I'm gonna obviously share the video, but if you wanted to share it with anybody or let them know that you showed them some love, this is now a great opportunity to do so.
Yeah. So we get our American Pit Bull Terriers from Freddie Smith. And he's Smith's Bulldogs. And you can check him out. He's on YouTube as well, as Smith's Bulldogs, and smithbulldogs.com. That's where we got all of our game dogs from. And every single one of them has been proven. And he doesn't hunt with his dogs, but he was one of the first dog men that I had talked to. He has over 4 years experience with the dogs. And he was one of the first ones that actually took me in, and he gives me advice. He tells me about the dogs. He lets me know about the bloodlines. I mean, he is always there if we need him to talk to him, and I couldn't be happier with the dogs we've gotten from him. Also want to give out to shout out to my friend at Victoria Line Kennels. She does American Bullies, but she sticks more to the American Pit Bull Terrier body type, I guess you could say, of her dogs, and her dogs are great working dogs too. That's one of the other kennels I will actually bring into my line for breeding purposes. She has the same kind of outlook and style on the dogs as I do for my crossbreds. So I wanted to give them a shout out. Those are the main people that I want to give a shout out to. Other than that, we just breed our own dogs. And obviously you know, we really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you and us kind of getting us out there in the spotlight. We usually keep to ourselves. You know, it's all about the dogs. It's all about the dogs.
And that's what I want to get at. These dogs, it don't matter who you are, either you're a dog person or you're not. And the dog community is small, and people worth the damn are even smaller in this community. So I really just want to I thank you so much for you, both of you. I'm going to end the recording, and then we can kind of talk in the back chat here. So I'm about to end this recording real quick.
Okay.
I need another one. I'ma roll it up and I light it up. I need another one. So put some more in my cup. I just need another one. I'ma roll it up and I light it up. I need another one. So put some more in my cup. I just need another one. 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 I just need another one.